Hi, welcome. I'm trying a new setup today, so I hope that the volume is okay. Before I got on this video, I had already drawn a few cards today, so I thought I'd share the ones I pre-drew. I drew Wisdom and Guidance, Enjoy the Glow Up. It's kind of a nice way of saying, hey, here you are, you're already leveling up. Have a great day. And then, of course, the Almighty Chariot again keeps coming up in this crazy time of Aries everywhere. And then last I drew this newly, what I call Peace Amongst the Chaos piece that I just did, which was to kind of showcase human design and what I've been learning at a rather intense pace about human design. And just kind of showing Earth is where the soul meets body, right? We come in and we experience these things, but we have, we're learning from human design that part of who we are came with us and attached, 88 days before we were born, and that's something that we always have. That's our personality. But another piece of what makes us on this earth is called the design piece, and that part is based on where you were born and when, and how you're impacted by the energies of those different planets as they align. So those features of yourself you may be less aware of until you kind of learn about yourself through human design. But not only that, but those don't really follow you when you leave the earth experience. Which for me, today I let out a whoop of joy about one of mine, the overthinking one, because I'll be glad when that's gone. I'm glad to know that's not a characteristic that I'm going to carry with me on the other side of the veil, or in higher dimensions even. So, yay! So yeah, I'm glad I drew this card. Because it is a big part of now how I'm really thinking about life, because it combined all the other things that I had learned. It kind of combined them and beyond, right, into really helping identify who we are on this journey and helping us to understand that. So it can feel chaotic, but it can lead to a lot of peace. Yeah, and accepting who you are is so important, right? And knowing what your purpose was and all these other details. It's kind of amazing. I can't even talk about it enough. It's been so revelatory, but not revelatory. And I'm pretty sure that's why the person who first downloaded this information, why he said that the data would be empirical, because when people read it, they can't really deny it. So what I got out of human design, also very important part, was this download came at a time that was crucial for people to start to really understand themselves so that they could evolve, because humanity will be evolving, and the said date for that is 2027. That's when human design says we go from this cross of planning, which has been going on for 400 years, and then we go into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which happens to be my own cross, interestingly enough. So I kind of went really deep trying to understand that more, because initially what I heard about the cross of the sleeping phoenix was that my sole purpose right now was just to stay busy. And I thought, wow, that's a crazy thing to tell somebody with as much ADHD as I have, because I'm a manifesting generator. But I'm starting to understand there's a little more to the story. So everyone out there who's listening, if you haven't done human design, I highly recommend taking a look. Kind of combines everything out there in the universe into one simple way of understanding yourself fully and how you relate to others. I can tell you, I would never start a relationship again without looking at this, because it really makes things clear what your pitfalls will be and what the positives will be and everything else. I mean, obviously every relationship has something that it brings to it and brings to the table, but it's really good to understand it better. And I hear people say, I don't want to know about myself. I don't want to know me. I just kind of want to run blindly into things. And that's great. But that is what you'll be doing. I mean, you're essentially putting yourself at a disadvantage during a time when humanity's about to evolve. And humanity will evolve whether we're ready or not. Sure, it slows down the evolution when stragglers, when people are living in fear and people are insecure and people are anxious and nervous and, waiting for the truth, waiting for the things to play out, and they're falling for all the propaganda and all the brainwashing and all the things that we've been believing for so long to be true. Yeah, it slows down the evolutionary process, but the evolutionary process will still happen. The sleeping phoenix is still going to wake up, whether you're ready for it or not. So I look at it as using any of the tools that are at my disposal in order to better understand my life on this earth. And I can tell you, when I look at my profile, I understand exactly why I've had exactly the frustrations that I have had throughout my life. I can see it clear as day. And I can see it for others as well. Sometimes people are living with a projector and they're a manifesting generator, and as a manifesting generator they have their own creative ideas of how they want to spend their time, and anytime they spend not doing what they love and that feels emotionally right, really doesn't work out. So it's just really important to know each other, right? Then we can say, oh yeah, this person doesn't want to be part of my projects, they have their own projects going on, and then we can work side by side. So yeah, it's just really helpful. It's not saying two people can't be together or can't relate to each other, because we always can. And the more we understand, the more we can forgive and understand and accept not just ourselves, but those around us. Okay, I wanted to try something new because I made all these envelopes of astrology stickers. And I put them all in the envelopes, shuffled all the envelopes around, and then over time I started to seal the envelopes. And they're all different colors, but I've never had any idea what's what. But either way, just to make it very clear that I don't know what is what, I'm going to mix them up, and I'm only going to draw one that I can't see the seal. Okay. So let's just mix them all up. And what I'm going to do is the envelope says mystery person, the sign of the person you are seeking. And I'm just going to draw a sign for maybe who this message is for today, So whoever it is that's listening, if anyone, whoever you are, I'm going to just try to draw an envelope and find out maybe who that person is, or who a special person might be in your life or my life. But yeah, I just thought, why not? I have not had a booth. Ooh, I got the red speckle. I haven't had an art booth because I'm a little bit of an introvert who doesn't really like selling. So I can't get myself to do it, but I do have a lot of materials that I have made for that purpose. So now I'm using them for these videos. All right. So here we go. Who's today's mystery person? For me, for you, for the universe. Ooh, Pisces. Awesome. Okay, so today's message, putting it out there, I'm looking for maybe somebody who wants to be a new friend or a new connection, somebody who's vibing with this kind of information, someone who likes to go deep, a daydreamer, an empath, somebody who would love having these kind of conversations. Maybe this message is for you. Maybe the message is that we're going to connect and get to know each other. Maybe you're going to connect anybody who's watching. Maybe you have a Pisces in your life that you're connecting to. Now, once again, I'm going back to doing the quick shuffle because I have now got all sorts of variations of color printings in here, and there's just way too many marked cards. So I'm just drawing from under always. And I'm not looking either. Ooh, I drew the fire horse. Of course I did. The fire horse is kind of at the start of all of this. This entire Chinese New Year is the fire horse. So much started happening at the start of the fire horse, which was right before Ramadan, and so many other things. It's bringing in this kind of fast-moving energy, transformation. Maybe there's some transformation energy going on with a future Pisces connection. Let's think about the fire horse. I think momentum is just going to keep going. We're just going to keep tearing through during the entire Aries season and probably beyond. And I think that's what the horse is letting us know. It's going to keep recurring because it's not over. Things are still happening at a fast pace. You've got that car. Get in it and drive, right? Like, do the thing that you need to do. That's the message of the Chariot. Take advantage of what you have. But yeah, that horse is still happening. We're not going to slow down. We're headed for some big change. The Phoenix is waking up. Let's try another card. Embracing your duality. Castor and Pollux. Yeah, the famous Gemini twins. You know, some say that that's really just about embracing your higher self. Embracing your soul. Embracing that you are source, that you are creator. I know there are many that question that kind of language or that kind of thought process. They think, oh, there can only be one God. But let me ask this, like, do you not see God in the crystals? Do you not see God in the amethyst? Do you not see God in the trees, in the animals surrounding you? Do you not see God in yourself, in the mirror? Embrace who you are. Embrace what is within you. Embrace that we are more than we've been led to believe, and there's a reason. I know it sounds so far-fetched that there's, bad people who've kind of commandeered the planet and made things bad for everyone, but think about it. Isn't that what happens with power? Isn't that what happens with depravity? I mean, I don't know. There's been times in my life when I learned something shocking and I don't believe it for a while. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, well, what else? I guess anything could happen. And it's like, yeah, none of these movies, none of these books, none of these things where we get a taste of things like that. These aren't original thoughts. I think Ayn Rand was right when she said that, right? Like, everything's coming from somewhere, and it's because we already know this story. We know this trope. We know how this plays out. This earth is older than we think. It's going to go on forever, no matter how many people try to scare us. I mean, maybe we're infinite. This place is capable of so much. It is so beautiful and so amazing, and even in the limited ways that we've had to experience it due to the nature of the school while we were on Earth and due to the powers that be on Earth, it wasn't always pleasant, and yet we can still see God amongst us, walking amongst us, outside, in the yard, in the crystals, in the nature, in everything, in the mountains, in the grass, in the small blade of grass, in a hummingbird. Everywhere we see love, we see light, we see God, we see source, we see truth. I hope today you can accept and love that you are more than what the skin that you are in on Earth. I really hope that. And of course, if you're watching this, you're probably like, yeah, I've believed that for a long time. And that's awesome. And how do we help others to accept and love themselves and see themselves for whom they are in their infinite glory, right? How? And that's just, I think, by sharing messages like this, sharing the human design, sharing these other tools that help people to know who they really are. Let's flip another card. I don't want to draw my own card. That's funny. It is a reminder, I need to add human design to my card. So thank you, universe. I'm going to do that. It's become just such a huge part of my life in less than 10 days. That's typical of me. I am a manifesting generator. I do whirl through a lot of different ideas. I'm often handling many things at the same time. Regular generators like to do kind of one at a time, whereas I like to keep many tracks open, many tabs open, many things going on. But I do jump in so completely when I love something, and I'm literally told by my human design that the goal is satisfaction. And when something doesn't bring me satisfaction, when I'm burning my energy in ways that are dissatisfying, I'm going to feel frustrated. And that's how I know I'm not on the right track. And it's okay to shift. If one day I'm an artist, and the next day I'm a wordsmith, and the next day I'm playing my sound bowls, and the next day, I'm out riding a bike or doing yoga. We have to listen to our heart, listen to our emotions. Well, actually, for me, as a manifesting generator, I'm told it's very simple. When asked when I'm going to use my energy, I say, do I want to do this? Yes or no? I answer myself simple yes or no questions. Then when it's time to actually do it, I check in with my emotions. Do I still want to do this? There's an emotional component because my authority is my solar plexus. Did I know that before last week? No. But do I understand it completely? Yes. That's why I've become someone who's known as a balker. Heavy-duty planners, people who have a plan and they stick with it, and they do whatever they said they're going to do, they will never understand the balkers, the people that cancel last minute. And it isn't personal. I mean, something is not sitting right with our energy and with our emotions. And when we go, it's not going to go as planned. It's not going to go successfully when we go against our emotions. So that's why people with the authority in their solar plexus really need to listen. I used to think it was a derogatory thing to live by your emotions, but I think it's more important to accept it and do it than to fight it. Because I can say, for me, it has never worked trying to fight it. I'm still going to be miserable. It's still unlikely I'm going to change from that emotional space. Okay, death, rebirth. Things can only get better. That's a great message. That's what the Phoenix is about. The Phoenix is kind of representative of the ultimate death and rebirth. And I do believe 2027 is going to lead to the ultimate death rebirth. Dates being a little bit woo-woo. I don't know what the right word is, but time being kind of based on so many different factors and yet predicted by so many, that specific year and everything. It's like, are you ready? And meanwhile, what kind of death rebirth experiences can you have on an individual basis to better help you prepare for that? Where are you stuck? What things can you let go of? What things can you purge in order to have in order to move forward on your path toward the awakening? What things are holding you tethered to this earth still? What things cause you so much pain and grief still? These are the areas that you're going to want to focus on. I hear a lot of people say that this seems secondary to the problems that they're experiencing on earth. And that's how they keep us vibrating on a lower energy that they're feeding off of. We're so tied up with all of these human things that we can't take a time to figure things out and learn to live our life so that our energy is spent for ourselves. And so we step out of the slave mold. I'm going to draw just one more card. Okay, so I added some of my new art, and this one's hilarious. I thought, how am I going to talk about this card if I draw it? And yesterday I drew it, but I didn't make a recording. I just did it for my personal reading, and then I was like, oh my gosh, the testimonials came out today on Hulu, the first 3 episodes. And so for me, that was enough. That's why I drew the card. Handmaid's Tale, they wore the red. And in this sequel, they're wearing purple. I mean, but I guess final reminder is if if you are starting to question, has your mind been conditioned? If you've done human design and you see that you have an open mind center, are you starting to question, in what ways have you been conditioned? In what ways are you a handmaid to someone else? In what ways are you carrying out someone else's agenda and it's not for you? Whether you're a generator or a manifesting generator, you have the right to generate energy that only propels yourself forward. I do love this though. Vulnerable girls grow up to be warriors. Heck, yes, we do. We don't forget anything either. So yeah, if you happen to think you may have a conditioned mind, you have been influenced by things around you, and you're starting to question it, continue to do so. Continue to use the tools at your disposal to find out the truth of who you are, because no one deserves to be anyone's handmaid. And on that, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, that's amazing. If you can like and share, if you know anyone who would enjoy this kind of environment, if you are my Pisces friend, please reach out. I've been looking for some new friends who want to have esoteric discussions or discussions about any of this, any of how we can better prepare for our future. Please reach out. Always looking for new friends. Thank you, and have a great day.